Look, this chef is chopping vegetables. He is working skillfully. The sushi is even thinner than the cucumber slices. Then he quickly handles the ingredients. Carving and plating. Serve it to the table. The guests were amazed. Is it so beautiful? While cooking, he can also find time to fold a small flower. The store's business has improved instantly because of his excellent knife skills. The chef has gained a large number of fans, but he is not a severe chef, but he is a professional killer. The story began a few days ago. A man named Young Hiko. He is the #1 killer in Korea. He had an excellent reputation and had never failed to kill anyone. One day, Young Hiko was going to take a shower after killing someone, and he dropped the soap on the floor. The fall landed him in the hospital. A bag of clothes came with him. When he woke up, who am I? Where am I? That's right, because of the fall on his head, Young Hiko lost his memory. He doesn't remember who he is at all, and he doesn't know where he lives. But that's not the worst part. The most terrible thing is, he couldn't afford to pay his medical bills. Fortunately, a kind-hearted person, Haina, came. Haina works at the emergency center. She was the one who brought Young Hiko to the hospital when he fell. Haina saw that he was poor and had memory loss, so she did a good deed in the end. Not only did she pay for his medical bills, she even drove him home according to the address in his wallet. How old are you? 32. Then you're pretty stable looking. When I opened the door after arriving home, Young Hiko was shocked. The house was a mess, full of garbage, but I had the impression that he's a clean person. How could it be so messy? The next day, the house was cleaned up. Even though Young Hiko had lost his memory, his personality and habits remained the same. He carefully organized his personal information. My name is Young Hiko. I am 32 years old. Assets $10. Then, it was gone. He still can't remember anything. Go out and ask a neighbor. And he ran into a punk. The punk came up and put his hands on him. Young Hiko turned on the passive skill. Ha, what's going on? Why am I such a good fighter? Besides being a good fighter, Young Hiko also found out that she could play with knives. It just so happened that Haina's store needed a cook, so she hired Young Hiko to help out. It was a way to pay off the debt. A top killer as a chef. That's a piece of cake. Young Hiko's skills attracted numerous fans. Haina's house soon became an internet sensation. Haina asked Young Hiko, "How do you know how to use a knife so well?" Young Hiko didn't understand either. All he knew was that he was inspired by holding the knife. The days passed by. One day, Young Hiko came home and found an itinerary on his calendar. He was going to shoot a movie in a particular place. In an instant, he understood. It turned out that he was an actor before he lost his memory. But he didn't have the talent. He couldn't bear to play a criminal. As a constable, his colleague was in trouble. Young Hiko didn't fit in with the set. He was soon fired by the director, but he worked very hard. Don't know how to act? Then practice. He bought a book and started to study acting skills. What emotions, micro-expressions. He learned all the way through. Soon, the opportunity came. The director arranged an action scene. Young Hiko played the role of the bodyguard beside the male lead. He did not expect that he would have not only extraordinary skills, but also excellent acting skills.
아, 진짜 대사를 끝까지 해야지 왜 대본대로 안 해? 오케이!
Soon, the movie became a hit. Young Hiko's handsome action attracted a lot of fans. The director took a look at him and immediately gave him an extra role. He was promoted from a supporting role to a second actor. Young Hiko became a big star, and he and Haina started a love affair. Just when life was going very well. One rainy night, Young Hiko was listening to music in his car. Suddenly, a familiar scene flashed through his mind. It was the night before he fell down and killed someone. The very same song was playing in the car. In a flash, he remembered everything. I'm a killer, not some actor. This is not my life. He rushed back to his mansion, only to find the house in chaos. Someone is living his life as him. What's going on? It all started with that bar of soap. This man was washing his hair in the bathhouse. Suddenly, the soap slipped, and someone kicked it around. At that moment, the killer Young Hiko came in. And then... this fateful fall. Young Hiko's keys just fell to the man's feet. He picked it up and was about to return it. Suddenly, he was frozen. A crazy thought came to him. The man's name is Jong Hyuk, 32 years old. He had no success at all. He was a loser who was waiting to die, couldn't pay his rent and was in debt. Today, he wanted to hang himself. Thinking about it, I'd rather wash up and leave in style. After getting into the bathroom, he and Young Hiko looked at each other, glanced at his watch. He was really rich. I thought they would never see each other again. Unexpectedly, his key came to him. Jung Hyuk thought he was going to die anyway, so he left his nameplate behind. He took Young Hiko's key and changed into his equipment. He became an elite tycoon. He saw his landlord. This time, he got a little bolder. Here, this is the rent for 1 year. Don't look for more. Just don't bother me anymore. Then he took out the key and pressed it. It's a luxury car. Jung Hyuk was so proud of himself, driving a luxury car. He paid back all the money he owed before, but after paying back the money, his life became boring again. He realizes that he is still the same loser. The day he stole is not his life. He came to the hospital to return his things. He didn't realize that Young Hiko had lost her memory. Jung Hyuk was happy. It's not my fault. He drove a luxury car and followed the navigation to Young Hiko's house. Once he entered the door, he was shocked. This grand and respectful mansion, the luxurious decoration, this magnificent closet, it was bigger than his house. Is this the life of a rich man? Jung Hyuk is very happy. He turned on the TV, but the TV was showing a security camera. The main character is a beautiful woman. Jung Hyuk doesn't understand, but it didn't stop him from staring at the beauty with wide eyes. After watching for a while, he falls asleep. When he woke up again, the pretty girl is going to commit suicide? Jung Hyuk was so anxious to call the police. He looked up and saw the girl had committed suicide again. Jung Hyuk was terrified. When he looked up again, the girl came back to life. What's this? Why is she playing suicide? Jung Hyuk was confused, but now he was even hungrier. He searched for food, finds a box of money, orders a deluxe takeout table. After eating, he wanted to drink wine. Unexpectedly, this pulled out a hidden door. He pushed the door inside. He found all kinds of knives and weapons hidden inside, passports from 18 countries, and a wall of clues. On the wall was the beautiful woman from the surveillance. Jung Hyuk was confused again. He remembered the work photos and surveillance footage he just saw. He had an idea. He deduced that this uncle must be a police officer. The reason for monitoring the beauty is to protect the witness. Now it's bad. The uncle has lost his memory. Will the beauty be in danger? Looking at Yoonhee's appearance, Jung Hyuk thinks he can protect her. It's his duty to protect the pretty girl. He finds out that Yoonhee lives upstairs, so he finds a chance to create a chance encounter. He gets acquainted with her slowly. Then, he sends some small gifts to her home. Yoonhee has no one to turn to. With only Jung Hyuk by her side, they live so close to each other. Their relationship is heating up. They ate together and watched movies. A relationship was established. Just when Jung Hyuk was pleased with himself, an accident came. Jung Hyuk answered the phone fearfully. The caller asked him how he was doing with the commission. He asked to meet and talk. Jung Hyuk was scared, but when he heard that they wanted more money, so he went to the meeting masked. But the person on the other side was afraid of him. He took off his sunglasses and was scared. When he spilled a glass of water, he was scared. Even turn around and avoid the eyes. From the conversation, he gradually realized that something was wrong. It turns out that the uncle is not a cop but a killer. Yoonhee had reported the company's fraud and had decisive evidence, so they hired the #1 killer to kill people. Jung Hyuk is furious when he learns the truth. He wanted to find a chance to confess to Yoonhee. Just then, Young Hiko, the #1 killer in Korea, came to his door. Jung Hyuk rushed to hold him back, but Young Hiko and Yoonhee seemed to know each other very well. They even talked to each other. What's going on? It turns out that every time Young Hiko receives a commission, he would go to the target person to discuss fake death, and then send the person out of the country. This time, his target was Yoonhee. Unexpectedly, after stepping on the soap and falling into the bathhouse, directly made him lose his memory. And in the meantime, Jung Hyuk used his identity to get close to Yoonhee. He even fell in love with her. The boss was furious when he learned the news. He decided to find another killer to kill Jung Hyuk and Yoonhee. Young Hiko decides to put on a big show. He first takes the commission from the boss as the new assassin. Then, he finds a venue and prepares props. Discuss the details with the two. Finally, it was time to break up with his girlfriend Haina. He was afraid that things would go wrong and delay her. Even though his heart did not want to, he also decisively broke up. Finally, after everything was done, the fun begins. Jung Hyuk took Yoonhee hostage. In front of the boss, he stabbed him with a knife. The client was shocked. Is he that cruel? Seeing that Yoonhee was still able to struggle, Jong Hyuk rushed up and slashed again. It's done, it's done. Get lost. The trustee was scared by his power and didn't dare to do anything else. At this moment, Young Hiko came out. He and Jong Hyuk fought together. The two of them were working well together. According to the following procedure, the two would die together. Just then, Haina barged in. It turns out that she is not willing to break up with Young Hiko. She came to ask for clarification. Young Hiko pretended she didn't know her. What kind of woman is that? Get lost. Haina got angry when she heard that. What did you just call me? Bitch, tell me to get lost? Haina didn't stop. Young Hiko had to explain in a low voice. But Haina said she wouldn't listen to me. There is no other way. In order not to reveal his identity, I had to continue the drama. Jong Hyuk received a wink and stabbed Young Hiko, pushing the two to the designated place. Yoonhee, who was hiding, pressed the switch. In the box, everyone covered Haina's mouth to death. Tell her not to make a sound. Outside the box, the client thought they were all dead when they saw the blood on the floor. They rushed to leave. Everyone was relieved. No one would ever come after them again. On the way back, Young Hiko explained everything to Haina and said he would never do this again.
또 말 못할 거 있어요?
45.
Haina feels angrier that she was lied to, but it was time to start shooting on the set. No matter what, let's go to the set first. It just so happened that it was a love scene. Young Hiko was really in love. He confessed his true feelings to Haina. In the end, he won her heart back. On the other side, after experiencing this different life, Jong Hyuk also has a renewed hope for life. He finally doesn't want to be a loser anymore. He started to change.